see here. All right, just getting texts from people. He's gonna go have his surgery.
Yeah, I'll drive him over there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. When they open you up, see if they can find some money so they can pay me back. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I had to.
Man, you know that's not cool.
I figured out what it was. We're about to get into it. I figured out what it was. Why the gift thing didn't sit well with me.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
not that, because you have the right attitude. So Martin was saying that, when somebody asks for money, you give them money. If you're doing this for a friend, and the good thing to do is to consider the gift and don't ask for anything back.
Yeah.
I figured out what it was that bothered me.
Okay, because I was like, this should have just been a simple exchange of ideas and we moved on, but you just couldn't attach yourself to it.
Nah, I got it because, because a lot of people thought, well, shit, you dealing with loan sharks. I'm like, well, I got to deal with a loan shark to get my money back when I loan to somebody. And I got to deal with the mafia and shit when I want people to do what they're supposed to do. You got to go situation to situation with this.
You do.
But,
you do.
But a lot of times, I think like, all right, you know what? Unless it's a significant amount of money or the situation was just completely shitty, I'm content to letting a friend have some money. My life is nice. Mm-hmm. I'm in a good place.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and pay it forward.
Yeah.
However, when it is not a gift, it's an agreement. And when somebody says, can I borrow some money? Mm-hmm. You've entered an agreement, and the moment you say, well, I'll just write it off, then I don't want to absolve that person of their responsibility. Otherwise, don't ask for it if you can't do it.
Sure.
I might let them have it, but it's still going to be like, hey, you know what you were supposed to do, but that's fine.
Right. Well, I guess what I was saying is to circumvent that is because get some money from me too, because he doesn't have enough for this surgery.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I will give you this amount of money. And he said, well, I'll pay you back when. I was like, all right, listen, just so it's clear, I am giving this to you. Now, you have some money coming when you get that. I would appreciate it. You give it back to me. But in the meantime, this is yours. Like, I'm going to pay. I say, let's take the loan part of it off the table. Because that does set up a situation where it's like, hey, yo, you made an agreement. What's up? I'm saying you have to you might have to go over their head to them and say, stop that. Not a loan, a gift.
If it's a certain amount of money, because I see that's where we're different. I don't do that. I was like, hey, you said you were going to, when you came and said, can I borrow this money? Then we are under the impression that borrow means pay back. Mm-hmm. Now, especially if we're talking about maybe $5 to or $1. Let's say a penny to $100. All right, that's okay, man. Look, my life ain't gonna be hurting if you take that. All right,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
We get a $200 and more. I'm like, okay, that's a significant amount, but I can let that go. Mm-hmm. When we get into $1,000, it's like that ain't light.
No, you're right.
And it's like if you come and ask me, I want to borrow $1,000 from you. That's a significant amount of money. So I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh well, you know what? If you pay it back, if you come to me with that hefty fucking amount of money as I'm gonna pay you back, then do that. Now if you need to have the money, because that means people trying to pull some shit on you. Because it's like, hey, let me borrow this. Oh, they ain't gonna miss it. No, you don't run off on me like that. You live up to your responsibility. But if you can't, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Sure.
Sometimes I say, hey man, no big deal. My life is good. You can have it. And sometimes I'm like, nah, motherfucker, we had an agreement.
Well, okay, so it is situational because it depends on the friend and the closeness of the person. And then within that, it's how much, how dire is the situation? Because you're right, $1,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't see myself giving someone $1,000 unless they are a super close friend and I know that they will suffer medical consequences or get kicked out of their house without it.
Yes.
Now, that's more of a, can I get $1,000 from you? I can't comfortably give you $1,000. I tell you what I will do. I will give you $300. And that's what the compromise has to be.
Yeah.
Or the other contingency is, okay, show me how you're going to pay me back.
Yeah.
And they go like, well, my plan is I'm going to get paid this day and you'll get it this day. All right. Well, then we can enter that agreement and that can happen.
I've entered those agreements with people and
I know.
that shit did not happen. That's why.
No.
The only reason why I say this is because I've been taken advantage of a lot
too.
of times.
Me
and
too.
that's why I don't.
That's why I go with option one all the time. It's always I can't feel comfortable giving you that large amount of money, but I can give you this much, and you can take that or leave it.
And I really think people believe they're nice, but I think people think more like me because you're not in that position. Is like, hey, if somebody asks you for a significant amount of money, because I don't play that shit with people anymore. I'm like, hey, I'll look at the situation, and if I give you some money, depending on what you've done, then that's how I'm gonna handle it. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've done a lot for me, and you've given so much and whatnot, I'm not gonna ask for it back. I'm gonna be like, man, you giving so much to me and other people. I'm not gonna say anything. However, next time, don't play me like that.
Sure.
Don't come to me and do this shit where it's like, can I? Because now you're taking an advantage.
Of course.
Bottom line is, and when it's all said and done, you get one chance to borrow money from me, and if you don't pay it back, then we have a situation. And it's like, even if it's something where it's like, I let it go, it's like, you know what? I'm going to tell you just for a life lesson, pay your shit back next time to whoever it is and live up to your responsibility. Because otherwise, you're fucking lying. Yeah. Don't lie to me. It's disrespectful. The moment you come up and you say, I'm going to pay you back on this day, and you never had that, you knew in your mind you were never going to do that. You're fucking lying. And that's not right. You knew that you were taking advantage of somebody. If you'd asked for that day because you made that person think like, oh, well, they'll give it to me quicker if I say this day. Mm-hmm. But that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And so I don't that's taking advantage of people. Sure. And I don't play that shit with people.